Hi, everyone. Dr. Elizabeth Bonet here. Dr. Liz, welcome to the Hypnotize Me podcast. Before we jump in, please note that the podcast is not mental health treatment, nor should it replace mental health treatment. If you need psychotherapy or hypnotherapy, please seek treatment from a trained professional. I do hypnosis all over the world, so please feel free to contact me through my website, drlizhypnosis.com, DRLIZ hypnosis.com. Hi everyone, Dr. Liz here, and it is episode 200 of Hypnotize Me, HM200. I never thought I would actually make it here. I really didn't. I'm at a little bit of a loss of what to say, actually. I had like a download number that I wanted to hit, and I hit it a long time ago. I remember when I hit my first 10,000 downloads, I was so excited. And then 50,000 was just a huge milestone for me. And now I'm very close to 500,000. And that is really incredible that I've helped so many people with the podcast with information about not just hypnosis, but all kinds of different ways to heal and transform. That really does help me keep going. And I thought about all kinds of different things to do to celebrate this episode, the 200th. But honestly, they all felt a little overwhelming, like asking people to write in or record something that they wanted to say and play that. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can edit that. And I read every single review. I do want you to know that. I really do appreciate them. They help people find the podcast and they help me keep going. But anyway, back to the point. I thought what I would do today is talk about how hypnosis works. How does it work? This is one of the most common questions I get. And I continue to look at the research. I continue to listen to the bigwigs in the hypnosis field. I continue to look at researchers in other fields as well, at what they say about hypnosis and how it works. Because a lot of those questions are being asked by people researching the brain and what's happening in the brain, like what kind of pathways are being laid down and what kind of dendrites are forming. And we know that we can rewrite neural pathways in the brain. Like some paths get cut off and those little trees get pruned. We know that this happens during sleep. Other pathways, it's like they're fertilized and the little trees bloom and they become very full trees in the brain. So I find these processes fascinating when I hear about them. Like basically, when someone asks me how hypnosis works, I often translate that question in my mind to how does learning work? Because when we're doing hypnosis, we're learning something new. We're learning a new way to relate to the world. We're learning a new behavior or pattern to replace the one that we don't want, right? When someone's coming in for weight loss and they're learning how to not overeat, that's an old pathway in the brain. When something's emotional is happening or they're not feeling good, they reach for food. It's like, okay, how are we learning a new way to relate to emotional pain, right? How are we learning a new way to relate to food? So I look at a lot of the learning research that says that hypnosis combines focused attention and rest, which is how we know that learning happens. With focused attention and then rest. Now, sometimes that rest is sleep and sometimes that rest is a relaxed state, but we know it's absolutely necessary for learning to happen. Sort of like the focused attention sets it off, but it's really written in the brain during rest and sleep periods. They know this pretty clearly. So hypnosis is combining the two, which is why they think it's a shortcut often to learning in different ways. But it goes beyond that even, because hypnosis is not all about like habit replacement. It really isn't. We're doing deeper healing about self-concepts, beliefs, Many, many people consider it spiritual. I do too at times in my office. It's not always spiritual, but there are certainly times when it's felt very spiritual to me that I'm doing healing on a very deep and spiritual level. Hypnosis is also about changing the nervous system. So the nervous system is pretty incredible. And we know from all kinds of research that it affects the nervous system, meaning like bleeding rates during surgery or pain perception or healing rates of skin when someone gets a burn. It's one of the most effective treatments on the market for IBS. They know that from bowel samples, tissue samples that they took. So this is not just like in someone's mind. They're actually taking tissue samples. They're running double-blind studies that is rating healing rates, meaning like nobody knows who's had hypnosis, who hasn't. And they're looking at like photographs of skin healing. That's a simple explanation of a double-blind study. So they know it's affecting the actual physical structures in the body, which is pretty incredible. So having said all of that, it's like, do we know exactly how it works? We really don't. Because do we know exactly how the human mind works? We really don't. We know it's not like a computer. Like we use that analogy all the time these days because that's the best one we can think of. But the human brain is nowhere near a computer. It is phenomenally more advanced. Okay, phenomenally. It can do things no computer can do, still to this day. Now, also when I hear that question of how does it work, another question that I think is underneath there is, will it work for me? Right? Can I change? Can you help me? And if you're a really practical person, is this going to be worth my money and time? Right? And I think those are wonderful questions. And I cannot guarantee results. I can't tell someone, yeah, I know it's going to work for you 100%, right? Because that's impossible to know because we are so different from each other. You know, like we say, we have all these similarities and we know that dendrites form in the brain. We know all these physical processes. We know that we can all break bones, right? But when it comes to mental processes, we are all also so individual. And honestly, I can say that about any therapy. Can you guarantee any therapy is going to work 100%? No, you really can't. It's not like healing a broken bone, right? It's not like we know that if you set the bone and you wrap it up and you keep it still, it's going to knit back together. It's not that simple, right? It really isn't. What I can say to people, and what I often do is like, I want to know that too. Like, I love being successful with my patients, with my clients. I love helping people. I wish I could predict, yes, it's going to be successful for you, or no, it's not. Well, I do refer people that I don't personally think I can be successful with. Perhaps I don't have experience in that area, or there's just something that doesn't feel like quite the right fit. I've learned to listen to my intuition about that over the years. And it's not always something I can put my finger on. So I would rather refer them to someone who I think could help them than take them on feeling like, I'm not sure I can do this, right? Like, no, I want to make sure that I go into it feeling confident that I can help them. Now, is that going to be 100%? They're going to get better? Again, I don't know that. But hey, let's stack the deck in favor of it, right? So the first card in there is my own experience, my own expertise, my own areas that I love to work in, all of that. So I get that question, absolutely, as well as the other one. And I wish I could answer them both for you in like a really concise sentence, like a one sentence answer, but I can't. Hypnosis remains a fascinating process to me. It remains a method of transformation and healing that I find lovely and beautiful and beneficial for most people that I work with or that I talk to who have had hypnosis. So I hope that helps you understand how hypnosis works. Now, I am going to take a break for a little bit from the podcast, meaning like a month or two. I'm not sure if I'm going to run replays or whether I'm just going to take a break completely for a little bit, because even replays have to be prepared. But I do know that episode 200 feels like a good place to take a break for a little bit and rejuvenate and take care of myself and my family. I look forward to coming back fresh for you. All right, everyone. I hope you're doing okay. I really do think about all of you and who's out there listening and hoping that the podcast is helping someone. And if it's helped you, I would love to hear from you, whether through email or through a review on iTunes or Google. All of those help me keep going and doing the work that I do, being of service. That's how I see this. I don't make any money on the podcast, at least not yet. I mean, I've had sponsors here and there, episode or two, but nothing regular. So I don't make money on it, but I still consider it an act of service and a way for me to give back in the world. So hearing from my listeners really does mean a lot to me. It helps me keep going and know that it really is helping you. All right, everyone, be well, be safe out there. And I wish for you peace and happiness. I hope you truly enjoyed today's episode. Remember that you can get free hypnosis downloads over at my website, drlizhypnosis.com, DRLIZ hypnosis.com. I work all over the world doing hypnosis. So if you're interested in working with me, please schedule a free consultation over at my website, and we'll see what your goals are and if I can be of service to you in helping you reach them. Finally, if you liked today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast or tell a friend. That way, more and more people learn about the power of hypnosis. All right, everyone, have a wonderful week. Peace.